Yeezer. Can y'all hear me all right? My programs have been a bit funky. I also don't know. Is there any music playing? Because there should be music. But I can live without the music on the stream. I just can't. I I take it that you can hear me. Because if you can't hear my voice, then rip. All right, that's good. You can hear me. So I'm gonna turn my microphone down. So this is a inspired by some stuff we're talking about in the Discord, because I wanted to see which teams had a shot with the new roster changes, because snowballs have roster changes, the hazers have roster changes, but there aren't that many teams that have changes to the roster, and it's not really gonna matter because the teams that made the roster changes are kind of bad. So I wanted to make a tier list comparing the teams to each other, because in the Discord we're talking about which teams are most like the Pinkies, and you have Team Plasma 2018 qualifiers. They won their heat. Actually, I can just. Sorry, let me just move into this. Team Plasma 2018 won their heat in a snow race, even though nobody crossed the finish line. They were just the closest downfield. Everyone stopped halfway. Team Plasma gets the points. And that's like the most Pinkies thing ever, to actually win a thing without actually doing the thing to give you a win. Uh, so then I thought, okay, maybe I could just like have an alignment chart. Which teams are most like the Pinkies? Which teams are most like the Thunderbolts? Because I wanted the the best team, the worst team, and then like two middle teams. And I always think of the Thunderbolts as being the most mid-tier team. But then that would mean I'd have to go look at the different point averages of each team, and that is something that I don't want to do because I don't actually put effort into these things. And there are a lot of people who do, and I'm not one of them. So I was thinking for this y-axis, I am putting really like the best. I'll do the best, the no. I might have that for the x-axis. I don't know how should I orient it. I want the best and the worst, and then exist and literally do not exist. Because there are some teams that they are present, and there are other teams that are literally not anywhere, and there's everywhere all of the time versus nowhere none of the time. Bad at events and good at events. Most consistent. Consistency is weird. Consistency is a really weird thing because you have the speeders, who everyone considers as the best team to ever do it. 2 silvers, 2 golds, plus the Marbula 1 win. But then you have that 11th place finish. last year, or is it 12th? 12th or 11th? They something out of the ordinary bad. So that's not very consistent in the performance. But if you think about the Thunderbolts last year, they're getting eighth place finish, fourth place finish, like very in the middle of the pack. Still no medals. They got the one in elimination. Uh, so probably not consistency. I think just go for the binary of best, worst. I'm gonna have like God tier. Yeah, God tier. Uh, what's the team? Yeah, those are the Ruby Rollers. Ruby Rollers between the rollers and the speeders right here. I don't want to move that. Oh God, how do I? Okay, they're here now. They're here. I can't just unclick. Oh God, I thought I could just like move it around. Scared me. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna have existence here. Exist. Literally do not exist. This is This is a pretty good chat for a stream that I literally did not broadcast and literally will not broadcast in any facet. But this is pretty all right. This is a good chat. Oh, you can't. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right. Yeah, I have my mic not even close to my face. Uh, Again, I could normalize my levels so I have, the peaks chopped off and then the valleys of my voice rates because I speak soft sometimes, but when I'm loud, I am loud. So I don't. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I am a DJ, kinda, not really. Uh, but I mean, trial and error. Sometimes it's a lot of error. Do not exist. Yeah, I'm not focused on. Eh. Yeah. No, that just means exist. No double negatives. All right. So exists literally do not exist. And then we got God tier and basement tier. That I think that's a better God tier, and then we got that basement tier. Because there's some teams it was good while it lasted. Um, so Ruby Rollers uh, was not good while it lasted, so they literally do not exist. And basement. Again, a lot of. Is there a way? Can I make this bigger? I'm gonna run out of space. There's so many teams that they're just gonna be bad and don't exist. Uh, yeah. Okay. So blue fast six obviously don't exist, and then every MMX team that aren't the Purple Rockets or Blackjacks. What even is a noxious ivy? I don't know. Doesn't matter. They don't exist, and I can't move this. Why is all my text highlighted? There we go. Can they hide? They do hide. These icons are giant. There should be a way to. I'm just gonna have them crowd around here. Constrictors do not exist. If you competed in MMX and you're not participating in this year's showdown, you don't. Green Gang. I'm gonna put them in the neutral. Did they even exist? What is the Green Gang from? I don't know anything about the Green Gang other than they don't exist. Were they from the Hablino? Yeah, they were Hablino. Yeah, they don't exist. Hablinos, it's a different thing. Mainly because the marbles were different sizes. I do believe those were 30 millimeters, same as the Sand Marble Rally marbles, whereas the Marble League uses 16 millimeters. Uh, Wolfpack exists. Hey, look at us. We have a team that exists. No idea if they'll be good. Green Gang knockoff Team Momo, lol. Um, Momo exists. Momo does. They're not God tier. No, they're not God tier. Uh, I like how just by existing, the Wolfpack is gonna be better than a good majority of the teams. Knock on wood. Knock. That's me knocking. That might have sounded weird. It usually does. Uh, Momo exists. They almost won. If by almost you mean they finished number one through the first half of events and then just collapsed. Uh, but they exist, and they're like here. Yeah, nearly middle. They they're not in God tier. I want them to be God tier. Uh, do not exist. Rollers, they exist. I wouldn't be so generous with that. Uh, I think do not exist. Was this team any good? I don't remember MMX. I blocked that out. They're why why it no like me sometimes. Do not exist. Let's just have them. I think they exist in more. There's so many that existed more than other teams. It's just Infinity is still Infinity, you know. Uh, Constrictors might have done a bit better, but they still don't exist. Or whatever this team is. I don't remember this team name. The Owls. Why weren't they called the Owls? All I know is that they weren't called the Owls. What was this team? What were the creepy staring birds? Exactly. If no, I'm not. I had some juicy deets from talking with Tim Ritz about these different logos. I'm not sure if he do the updated Golden Orbs and Quicksilver's logos. The Strix's. The Strixes. Right. What even is a Strixes? Uh, so did Tim Ritz do these golden orbs and Quicksilver's logos because that would be ironic because they don't exist, but they got a good. I think golden orbs were okay ish. Ish. But they don't exist. Quicksilvers, they were worse, but they existed. I'm cruising through the ones that don't exist because usually the only reason you don't exist is because you sucked and the league moved past you. Oh. I looked at Team Phoenix down here and thought for just a second that they existed. I'm like, oh, thank God. I would rather the Golden Orbs over Team Plasma, but what are you gonna do? Plus I'm liking that new logo. It didn't need to change at all, but it changed and I'm liking it. Same with the Purple Rockets. The Purple Rockets looked like it came like the old Purple Rockets logo looked like it came from a pharmaceutical company. It looked very formulaic. Now, Team Plasma does exist, but the Jawbreakers don't. I was almost about to say the Pinkies don't exist, and that was about to be too true of a statement. And they're nowhere near God tier. Literally, I'm just gonna have this. There'll be the sliver. No, okay, I'm gonna move. Can I move? Yeah. Okay, there's just gonna be out of all of the teams that don't exist, the Jawbreakers don't exist the most. Uh, what are these? What is this? That's staying in the middle until I know what that is. Were those the Valiant Violets? Why are they gray? Am I colorblind? Actually, though, no, it can't be. These are the Purple Rockets. They're purple. These are the Valiant Violets. Why are they gray? They should be this color. Am I actually colorblind? Am I? It looks like the Quicksilvers. Like that is just almost a grayscale purple. If you take purple and start bringing it down. Oh yes, violet is actually gray. If this is how I figure out I'm colorblind, I would cack heartily. Should I should I do a color blindness test after this? Um, were the Valiant Violence even good? I want to say no. I want to say they don't exist, but I'm running out of space in this corner. Yeah, there we go. Just so we can start seeing these teams. Um, Team Phoenix, they don't exist. And were they were they were they good? Good. I'm seeing the chat. Everyone's saying that the Valiant Violence are doo doo. That's what I hoped. Uh, well, now we're gonna get to the actual good teams. Purple Rockets exist. Hey, hey, this team exists, kind of. But they won the thing. They won a thing. They won MMX. I did call it the DMV. That's not a wrong statement. Show of hands. I'll put the poll in. I'll put a poll. Did you enjoy MMX? Yes or no? What should the third option be? Yes, no, maybe, I don't know. Can you repeat the question? Uh, no, yes or no? I should be able to answer the poll. Let me put this on record now. I did not enjoy MMX. I guess that's been on record. I called it a very weird tournament. It was weird. It was very weird. And the Purple Rockets are going to stay there. They won a thing over actual teams, unfortunately. Why was Shining Swarm there? Why did Shining Swarm have a shot at winning the 2021 Marble League? I watched their name flash too many times on that Marblo Cross on the live results. Their name kept flashing gold, and I panicked every time it did that because I would actually have to talk about them winning, and that's something I don't do, is talk about Shining Swarm in a positive light. Are there any teams that do not exist? I think we covered. Oh, Hornets. Yeah, Hornets kind of exist. Hornets kind of exist. They got absorbed by the Bumblebees, so the players are no longer playing as the Hornets, they're playing as the Bumblebees. And those are some moves. Uh, there are a few of the members who used to be on the Hornets now playing for the Bumblebees. That's not going to go well at all. It just won't. It just won't. But they sort of exist, but they're bad. How did they host a Marbula 1 circuit? How did the Hornets, of all teams, the JMR really looked at the Hornets and said, yes, they will be good hosts because there's no host curse if everyone knows you're not going to win. Indigo Stars. My golden line. You look back at all the uh, teams I roasted back in 2020 when this channel popped off, and by popped off I meant, you know, gained 3,000 subscribers. Yes, this team, they exist. They're not better than Momo though. They have a gold in a thing, one event. Yeah, no, I'm gonna say worse than the Wolfpack. Indigo Stars, they exist. Yet literally in the middle, even the middle's too high. That's too close to God tier for the Indigo Stars. What should I do for the clout? What should I do if the Indigo Stars win the 2022 Marble League? I already said I'll delete my channel if the O Rangers don't qualify. That's seeing more true. That being said, a silver's a silver. They got the M1 win. They got the 2017 title that they're holding on for dear life. Should I be biased? You know how biased I am. Indigo Stars jersey. I would rock an Indigo Stars jersey. Oh, I'll do that. I will do that. Okay, so Indigo Stars win the 2022 Marble League. I will change my Twitter logo to be the Stars logo, and then change the background to be like #1 Indigo Stars fan, and then have the background be their nameplate. I'll do that. Yeah, average O Ranger fan. Every O Ranger fan is so biased. And I say that as an O Rangers fan, probably the most biased of O Rangers fans. And I say that, again, with heavy bias. Uh, but they're up there in the God tier. Where should it... See, if I really want to be completely biased, I'll do this. But that's just not... I'll do this. I'll put the O Rangers as close as I can to the speeders. There we go. Although I should have done that in reverse order so the speeders are underneath the O Rangers. Can you even grab the orange? You have to see. Okay, there we go. That's as biased as I can get. Imagine your marbles having detail. Tisk tisk. I should do a tier list based on the marble designs. Cause there's some geez. Oh, the palette. That's not even. I'm watching the chat and I just see Megapixel drop a palette of O's. Look like I'm staring into a bowl of cereal. Yeah, that if if God isn't an O Rangers fan, then why are all cereals in the O Rangers chant? Just oh, should make an orange cereal. Why haven't we made O Ranger O's? I might make an oh no, never mind. Have you ever had orange juice and milk? It's awful. But it could happen. It'll be like some weird sugary, like Apple Jacks, I guess. Just the orange Apple Jacks. And call them O Ranger O's. Have the box out just be the poster. We don't need any nutrition labels. If the pink sauce lady can get away with it with all those FDA violations and fines, and so can I. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make O Ranger O's, and they're gonna outsell the Savage Speeders cereal, which is just Wheaties. It's literally called the Breakfast of Champions. Has anyone even had Wheaties? I can't imagine they'd be good. All right. Blackjacks literally exist now, and I just lost them. They disappeared. I dropped them. I dropped the Blackjacks. They're somewhere. There they are. They just disappeared underneath all the teams that don't exist in the basement. However, they do exist in the basement because you see all these teams that don't exist, and you play an 8-team, 5-event invitational, and you lose to all of these teams that literally don't exist. That's like, no. Balls of Chaos got the bottom. Never mind. Sorry, Blackjacks. Forgot. Alright. They're here. They exist. They're alright with the Hublino tournament. That's how they got to the Marble League in the first place. And then they miss out on qualifiers. And then you miss out on qualifiers for, I think, 2019 and go, you know what? We'll just go to the Hublino tournament, train up. We don't need this Marble League. We'll be fine. And then the Hublino tournament folds, which is a shame. I really like the Hublino tournament. It needs to make a comeback. That's like, I dare say, the best thing of the channel. That's what I say, I dare say. I like the design of the Hublino tracks more so than like the modern stuff. I love it way more than like the Connectric stuff. God, there's one tier maker on this site that's Marble League events, but that's every single Marble League event, and I don't have that kind of patience or film or knowledge yet, because I'll actually have to go deep into the books if I really want to make the list. Uh, which I still might. I haven't decided. I might put that to a poll. Yes is at 51%. Did you enjoy MMX? That is, gotta say, rather funky. They did have really good events. I didn't like the halftime shows. I didn't like the delays in production. But in terms of like Marble League events that will never be in Marble League proper tournaments, like you're never gonna find a loop de loop in a Marble League event. I think the most intense event was the 2020 Black Hole Funnel, which I didn't really like because they're already funnels and this is just one of them. But it was all right for the year and for the theme. All right, solar flares. I'm actually going to bring the indigo stars down a bit. Solar flares, they kind of exist. They're bad. Way bad. Really bad. Last place in anything. There's still time for them to not be a team anymore. Oh, we're at 50-50. 40 votes. Good lord. That'd be great. Alright, I'm gonna end this one. I don't think Balls of Chaos will host the Marble League anytime soon. They might qualify for this. They're really good at qualifying, kind of, sometimes. Uh, I don't think the Balls of Chaos will host, though. Of course, Green Ducks, they exist. They're hosting whenever the tournament happens. I don't know when. Um, and they have a silver from their first year, but like they haven't really done anything with that. They haven't really improved upon that. So they exist. They're all right. See, now this is just turning into the standard tier list that I did of all 32 teams with the turtle sliders. Actually, no, they exist. But that is like the right spot for them. I didn't know they existed. If you look back to the 2020 roast video, I didn't know they existed. So I didn't talk about them. They don't exist. Why should I talk about them? Uh, their logo is an S tier though. The logo's the best thing about them. They the turtle sliders should have a sticker of their logo compete in place of their marbles, and they might have a better shot at getting not last. Cobalts kind of exist. Cobalts kind of exist, but they're bad. They're good at being bad. Back to back titles in the showdown. Um, I like the fact that they exist more than the Indigo Stars. Uh, Bumblebees barely exist, and they're bad. If it's not Hablino, they're bad. And their logo's bad. Just stick to one color of brown will be good. Uh, yeah, they barely. Oh, actually, yeah, that's barely existing. I'm gonna bring the cobalts to like here. Uh, yeah, plasma like just started existing. Yeah, how do the blackjacks exist that much? I agree. I'm bringing them down here. All right. Yeah, Rojo Rollers. Oh well, actually, Plasma first. Plasma exists now. Ew. I don't want to put Plasma above the solar flares. Should I put Plasma above the solar flares? That doesn't feel right. I'm gonna like that. There we go. Just below. Uh, Rojo Rollers barely exists. It's so bad. It's so bad. You wait 5 years. You wait 5 years for your team to return to the Marble League, and they take 16th place. Is that a plane or a lawnmower? That's a lawnmower. Alright. Rojo Rollers, they kind of exist. They're most definitely trash. Do I put them for... That's always an interesting thing. Are the Rojo Rollers worse than the Turtle Sliders? I'll put that... There we go, that's the poll. Which is the worst team? No. Which team is better? Yes and no. We got Rojo Rulers. Yeah, that'll work. And then we got Turtle Sliders, because at least the Rojo Rollers qualified for a Marble League, which is more than the Turtle Sliders can say. But the Turtle Sliders can say that they didn't compare, they didn't perform trash-tastic. Uh, how I wish I could just put Shining Swarm and Do Not Exist, because I forget about them so often. I just, especially with this logo, and you know, Tim Ritz and I talked about the Shining Swarm logo, and could you improve upon it? Because there are two things about the team: they're shining, and there's a swarm. But you can't really illustrate a swarm that well unless you start doing like abstract art. Maybe something with a microphone. They were singers, although nothing about the team name Shining Swarm alludes to the fact that they were a band. Uh, everyone sang the Rojo Rollers. Well, not everyone. There's just 20, but Rojo Rollers better team. Fun fact: Raspberry Racers didn't compete in Marbula 1 because the manager only cares about the Marble League, as the team are practicing to do the double in their 4-year history. The double. I'm not sure what the double is. But that's fair. I don't really put much stock into Marbula 1 as a indicator of uh, the Marble League, especially because there are more events that aren't racing. You got balancing and funnels, which is sort of like the inverse of racing. And sure, there's like sand moguls and dirt races, but that's racing with stuff in the way instead of a smooth track. And block pushing, collision, there's a lot of more endurance based than just Marbula 1. And the Raspberry Racers have an advantage in a lot of those events because there's much denser marbles. Uh, Racers exist and they're great. They're above the Ducks by like a good amount. No, yeah, I'd say there. That silver, definitely. I was rooting for them more so than rooting for Mellow Yellow. Uh, and I say that as a dirty, filthy Rangers fan. Chocolatiers, they kind of. Turtle Slider's best team. What is this chicanery? What is this? Chocolatier, and they're gone. Man, this is crowded. Chocolatiers found them. They're in the showdown more often than not. I think they're going to the showdown this year. I forget what I've been saying because uh, I don't put a lot of stock into what I say. I'm usually talking out of every place that is in my mouth. Uh, so if I said that the Chocolatiers have a shot at making at qualifying for the Marble League, I'm just retconning that. Uh, but they kind of exist. They're definitely in the showdown more often than not. Like here. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, no, this top corner. We'll fill in this top corner in due time. Uh, Balls of Chaos, do they exist? Now they don't. Remind me to never do one of these alignment charts again. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? They just disappeared. I'm like right next to the mic. I am squinting. My face is right up. Where'd they go? Oh, I have to remind myself where all these. I had the Balls of Chaos. And that's just like them. That's the chaos. That's the chaos. They know where they are. Oh, is that them? I think I found them. That is the constrictors. There they are. It doesn't want me to grab them. I think the tier maker has decided that the Balls of Chaos don't exist and they're in the basement. Which roast video do you plan on doing next? Well, uh, I'm definitely going to debrief the qualifier results. The qualifiers haven't come out yet. There is no date at all announced at all. So that'll probably be the next one. I have been doing condensed roasts, so this might be not the best sentence in the world. I am planning on doing TikToks. It'll be a quick series roasting enough of the teams in a similar vein to the 2020 roast video where I compare them to the different sports teams. So they'll be a lot quicker, a lot recycled material, and then we'll see what happens if I can grow a bigger following. Because I guess I am the voice of marble roasting. Speaking of marble roasting, Balls of Chaos if I can grab them. First team on that tier list. Not tier list. Marvel video. They can go back-to-back wins and then bottom 8 finishes and then somehow finish 5th with their heads on backwards. They chew gum off of desk lids. I don't know what inspired that line. I don't remember what order any of these teams were in. I'm just gonna do that. Call it good. Shining Storm shouldn't be down that. Or should they? I forget where Shining Storm was. No, I didn't place them. Because they exist and I was lamenting their existence. I think that's where I put them. That might be... no. Yeah, all these are correct. We'll just call that good. All these teams, I'm gonna click on them and they're just gonna disappear. Minties. I'm still not sprung on their existence. They failed to qualify. Watch watch the Minties and the Glaciers have the same success, where you compete in the 2018 qualifiers, you miss out, you disband, you come back, in your very first year, you take third place in the Marble League, and then the very next year, you just collapse. I would hate it if the Glaciers just fall off a cliff, just melt away with that global warming. I like their logo. It reminds me of the Ice Climber stage from Smash Ultimate, but that's not this video. They kind of exist, and they're kind of good. I'll always say the Glaciers are better than the Minties. Unless the Glaciers just prove to be a fluke. Am I excited for 2022 Marble League? Yes. I I can't get too hype because if I spend all of my hype now just waiting for the thing, I'll be all out of hype when the time comes. So not I'm not showing my enthusiasm, but when it's there, oh, it is going to happen. It is going to be great. All right. Um, Thunderbolts, they kind of exist. Uh, oh, they kind of exist. I didn't not finish placing Balls of Chaos. I don't think I did. Nah, that's a good spot for them. Thunderbolts, I'd say exist more. They got that whole roster which hasn't done anything. 2016 was their only success because the point system was awful. I think they're the new if 2016 used the current point system, I think the Thunderbolts would have gone like fifth. Of course, maybe if the Thunderbolts kept that whole team, then maybe they'd be better than they actually are. Uh, should Balls of Chaos be that far right? Uh, no, that's a fair analysis. I'm gonna put the Thunderbolts here. They stay here. Balls of Chaos. They exist more than the Stars. I kind of want to see the Balls of Chaos host. I also want to see some royalties from the Balls of Chaos cheer. Uh, that was funky ending up in the Balls of Chaos cheer. I thought it was just gonna be a fan thing. I didn't think it was gonna be the actual official thing, and it's like, oh my god, there I am, up in those end credits, the Source Dinosaurus. I love this channel. I give it grief a lot of times, uh, but no, this is fun. This is fun stuff. Do the Jungle Jumpers exist? I really want to say no. They exist off of that funnel that they jumped off of that one time. I say you. So that's the thing. They're never teams that do well and then fold. So this bottom right is just gonna stay empty. Uh, unless I want to move the Golden Orbs over here just for the S and G, because I don't know, just to be nice for a change. uh, if I'm nice to a team, it's not gonna be the Golden Orbs though. I'm gonna put him back. Uh, I forgot where I put him back though. This is why I don't touch things. Don't touch the art. This is all art. Uh, Limers barely exist. Uh, Real quick though, Rojo Rollers Pull is at 71, so I had to stop it. Um, Limers, they're in the basement. Yeah, but they exist more than the solar flares. Don't start fights in the stands. They exist off of their bad moments. I forgot what team I said this about, but they exist only for teams to pad their stats against. I forget which team that was. It might have been the Pinkies, it might have been the Limers. They're pretty much synonymous. Uh, we're getting down to the last few teams. Galactic exists. Longest podium drought, I do believe. All these space teams sort of exist. Galactic exists. They hosted. Yeah, they're here. Midnight Wisps, the first former champion to miss out on qualification. Also, the longest gold drought. They exist, but they exist with one overall win. That's good. Hazers exists up against the wall. They're going to be right up against this wall in true Hazers fashion. CCE behind the Racers in front of the Ducks? No. No. If we're talking Marbula 1, yeah. If we're talking Marble League, nah. They're alright. They're probably the most consistent team. But consistency gotta come with some hardware. Alright. I'm gonna put the cat's eyes behind Momo. You can't see him. You're not gonna see him at all. We're getting crowded. It's nitty gritty time. That's neutral. There we go. There we go. Behind Momo. People's team. Momo's the people's team. People's team. Telling you. Mellow Yellow. They exist. They're God tier. In front of the Racers, behind the O-Rangers. Not saying that with any sort of bias, even though I am the most biased O-Rangers fan, and I say that with heavy bias, being the most biased O-Rangers fan. This season's gonna be so fun. I'm gonna be going live after every event, if I can, God willing. But Lord Almighty, I am going to have a time and a half. I see the chat. The chat is catching up to me putting the cats behind Momo. And I have made up my mind. What I have written, I have written. Uh, Although that is quoting Pontius Pilate crucifying Jesus, so probably not the best person or time or place to quote. Uh, but this is art. This is art. You can't touch the art. Oceanics exist, and they're bad, especially with their performance in the showdown. They're bad. They're behind Galactic. First team I roasted. People forget that. Oceanics, first team I roasted because Marble League 2019 they hosted and it was bad. Everyone started saying host curse. Now we know that it's just they are bad. Not even cursed, just they are bad. Fact. Uh, wow, look at these teams we have left. If you tell me which three marble teams will make it to the Marble League but suck at the Marble League, I will give you the Pinky Snowballs and Team Primary. So, which is worse? I'm going to say Snowballs are worse. They exist. They can be up here. Oh yeah, we're filling it in. They exist, but they're the worst. Yeah. We're filling it out. There we are. Man, all of me wants to say that I hope Team Primary does well, but if I say that I hope Team Primary does well, that's a lie. They deserve all the trash that they get because they throw the trash onto the field for one. Uh, but they're bad no matter what they do. This is gonna be no bueno. Uh, Team Primary, last team, they exist. They're bad. Right there. Right there. The Oceanics should go in that top left. Nah. Oceanics. Yeah, I got some more wiggle room now. Wiggle room. Yeah, there you go. I'm very inconsistent on how I rank these teams. It usually depends what I had for breakfast. Sometimes I had a nice breakfast sandwich, nice bagel, Colby Jack cheese, cream cheese, some seared ham, and egg over easy. Oh, yeah. So that's why I put the snowballs all the way back, because sometimes they say that the snowballs are better than the pinkies because the pinkies, let's be, they're garbage. Doo doo. They are cringe. They're peak cringe. But I'm gonna keep it like that for now. Oceanics, I don't. I can move them back a bit, cause a lot of this is just recency bias. We saw the Oceanics plummet off a cliff and say that, oh yeah, they deserve nothing but that plummet, but they did. They did take last place in the Marble League they hosted. But they took third place the year before that. You know, if a team takes third place, you know that's not a fluke. It's usually just the third place curse. You know. Uh, I'ma call it good. I'ma call it good. Yeah. This is fun. I should do another tier list soon. Yeah. Alrighty. Um, it's been an hour. I call that a successful stream. So thank you all for joining. I hope you all have a good day or night, depending on where you're watching this from. Uh, Take care and enjoy this sweet, sweet outro music, assuming that the outro music will play. I hope it does. There's Waluigi in it. All right. And scene.